Hey guys, I was advertising on Marketplace and just basically promoting the shop. The ad said 1,500 square feet of antiques and collectibles, Fedora Antiques, blah blah blah. So anyway, I got an interesting response to it. A fellow asked me for my phone number to discuss buying the entire lot. So yeah, buying all of it. So all my inventory. I'm assuming he was interested in fixtures as well, but I'm not too sure. So anyway, I haven't heard back from him. I did leave him my number actually, because I would consider selling the entire lot at a wholesale level. So yeah, and starting over. Not ending the business, but starting over. So yeah, that's what I was thinking anyway. But there lies some issues. Now, don't get me wrong, starting over to me is appealing. I would love to have a chunk of change to go out buying and fill up the store again. Although it does take quite a while. You can't just, well, I guess you can go out and buy a ton of stuff from somebody like myself. But actually going out and, oh, we got the echo here in this room. So yeah, trying to go out and buying a ton of stuff to fill the shop in one go is very difficult unless you're buying the contents of an existing store. So, or whole collections and making that worthwhile. Even buying a whole collection, you're not getting an assortment of stuff. You're getting all of one kind of thing in a lot of cases. So that's kind of an issue right there. I would love to still do it because I want to go picking. I'd love to go just picking and buying, and but there's still a lot of work involved there too, because if you're buying fresh and raw, you're ending up having to do all the cleaning and restoration or restoration anyway, or cleaning and that sort of stuff anyway. I wouldn't be doing any restoration, but minor things maybe, but cleaning, especially in research and pricing and everything, you'd have to do all that all over again. So then there's some other issues in starting over. Packing it all up, acquiring new fixtures or used fixtures, obviously, if I'm buying vintage fixtures. So there is that issue. Now, yeah, so it also entails a few other things. It would almost wipe out my Etsy store. I'd have to discontinue a ton of the listings. I do have inventory that is warehouse finds type stuff that I don't know whether this fellow would want or not. So I could continue some of that online sales. Same with my own website. I've got 300 odd listings on there. Probably would wipe out 50 of them. Maybe more, or not 50, 300 of them rather, or 350, maybe all of them, depending upon what he wants. Yeah. So anyway, there's that restocking, there's new fresh fixtures, there's an effect of being closed that people will think that the store is gone entirely and won't show up again to check it out unless I've got to install a proper signage saying, we're going to be back. We just sold out entirely, and we're going to be back with all fresh inventory. So there's planning around that, having to do that. Yeah, so there's that effect of having to of being shut down. So yeah, so there's that issue. Now there's I've got tons of inventory. Like I said, I'd love to sell everything all at once. That'd be great. But the other issue is how much. How much is this stuff going to sell for? We've got to consider that it costs. There was a cash outlay of cash. Time is one other thing. This experience and such to acquire it, and know where to go to get it, and the travel and the gas and everything, it kind of has to all be factored in. So I'm not. Well, I've got an idea of where I want to be for dollar wise, or not an actual figure yet. That's the other issue. Excuse me, I'm just going to turn on a light here that I didn't turn on when I opened up. Yeah, so I've got to figure out how much all this inventory is worth. Like I've got lots of stuff, architectural wise and stuff wise. There's all kinds of hardware and that sort of stuff. And I'm assuming he would be literally taking it all. There is a ton. Probably minus the silver. I'd pull all the silver. That would be the only thing that I would end up pulling, really. Everything would go stock wise. I wouldn't want to sell certain showcases. The Timex case, for example, they're tough to come by when you need them. The big tall one here. And it is a functional one, and I would probably just move it to a corner and have it plugged in all the time. But these cases would go right here and here. And I'd still retain all my fixtures. Most or all of the bins I would like to keep, but I still have all the stuff in the bins that would have to go somewhere too. So I'm not sure. I might have to let the bins go as part of the inventory. I'd have to find some more somewhere, or maybe buy, maybe actually go to Uline or one of those places, suppliers, and buy a bunch of proper bins just to get started again. But yeah, there is tons of stuff. So what do you think, guys? What do you think of the thought of selling everything all at once? All of this stuff, all gone, starting over entirely. So all the smalls, and I specialize in tiny smalls. Again, you can buy a quantity at times, but getting the variety and such will be difficult. Some of this stuff is out of my own collection from years ago that took years to accumulate. So there's a lot of uniqueness that I'm not going to find again. So there's that. There's stuff that I'll be happy to see go, like the coil lamps and stuff. I don't mind to see them going. Everything, I don't mind to see everything going, actually. It doesn't really matter to me. It's all inventory. I'm not really attached to too much. I just want to be realistic about what to keep to start again. Because some fixtures have taken me a while to accumulate. I've been looking for these style showcases all the time. They're tough to come by. They're good for shows. I don't want to get rid of those. Oh, and there's another thing. I'm committed to 2 shows this spring. So I've got 6 tables at each show. So I've still got to have enough inventory somehow to fill those 6 tables for those 2 shows. So what am I going to do there? If I sell out before then, or commit to selling it all before then, where do I get? I've got to get inventory enough to set up at those shows and make it worthwhile to do those shows as well. So there's that. I've forgot about that. Yeah. So I'll know better, basically, the parameters of selling it all, but and kind of back to fixtures. All these shelves have been bought individually, maybe 1 at a time, 2 at a time, 3 at a time, Some of them I had already. I had these ones, these white ones, and I've just through the whole thing I've had to buy shelves, and I've even as recent as last month I bought shelves, or 2 months ago. So it's taken me 6 years to accumulate all the shelves. So do I want to let all the shelving go? Not really. It's just taken too long to accumulate them. And I don't want to be buying more all over again. They're a pain. I have to go pick them up and move them in and set them up and clean them up, and et cetera, et cetera. So I really don't want to do that over again. There's... It does give me a time to revamp a little bit, to change things up. Like I said, in the front, I'd get rid of those 2 long showcases and revise the front a little bit. In the back, I don't know if I'd change it a whole lot, but I might straighten out the shelves and that sort of thing, but there's not a lot I would change. Maybe set up some different displays in the back corner or something, depending upon what I let go display wise. Now, can you think of any other things, guys? Are there other disadvantages to selling out entirely, selling all the inventory and starting over? There's the advantages, yeah, big chunk of money, but then I have no income while I'm out there buying and trying to recoup inventory to start again. So I'll have to live off that money that I've acquired in order to live. So should be a substantial sum of money, though. Really, there is a lot of money in here. There is a lot of money. Just that silver, like you may have seen the video already. That silver, I thought there was a couple $1,000s there. There's actually $4,000 there. So that little pile of silver was a big chunk of change, and every shelf you can see will add up quickly. You've got so much stuff, it'll add up. And these are pretty sparsely packed shelves, these particular ones. But you get into an area like this, and they're jammed. There's lots of stuff. There's $350 up here. Let's see, what do we got here? 40, 50, 60, 60, 90, 100, 110, 20. Say another 200. Say average of 200 a shelf. 350, 550, 750. Say $1,200 per shelf unit. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. It can add up pretty fast. I'm willing to bet there's probably closer to $250,000 wholesale in this place, just with at a 60% of value or of marked prices. So yeah, what to do, guys? So what do you think? What do you think I should do? Should I go for it? Or, let me know what you think some of the pitfalls could be as well. If you've sold out your entire business before, or all your inventory at once, which doesn't happen a whole lot in the antiques business. It does happen. People have sold their entire business in some cases. But most antique shops I see that are closing, usually they are liquidating. They'll liquidate rather than sell the entire business all in one go. So yeah, and is somebody willing to pay 60% of retail in order to compensate for cost of goods? and for the work involved and all the expenses involved. And the fact that it's a curated bunch of inventory that is not just random secondhand junk. So it's all, or pretty much all, decent saleable inventory. So yeah, what to do. So anyway, what do you think? Throw a comment down below, whether it's congratulations even, or if you want. Although there's no done deal yet, it's just simply a phone call I haven't gotten yet. So thanks for watching, folks. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and check out our other videos on antiquing, picking, thrifting, scrapping, etc. Take care, folks.